What if I told you that you are not bad at math? As crazy and unbelievable as this may sound, it's actually true. The truth is, just by changing yourself a bit and changing how you approach a question can make maths more fun for you, and it can make you become that math genius.
I've been lucky enough to be on the other side, so I know how the top people in mathematics think, how they approach each question. So in this video, I'll be sharing a few tips and tricks that you can use to approach a math question.
So if you watch this whole video, you will know exactly how the top achievers approach each math question, and you'll know exactly how you can do it too.
So without further ado, let's get straight to the first tip, which is to look at the mountain first. Before you start a new question, you should take a step back and just look at it for a second first. So imagine you're climbing a mountain. Instead of just climbing straight away, what you want to do is you want to take a step back and see if you're even on the right mountain. And if you're on the right mountain, see which path you need to take, or which challenges you may face, or which specific points of the mountain that you need to watch out. And approaching a math question is just like approaching a mountain. So before you dive into the question, take a step back and analyze the question first. Think of the difficult points that you need to watch out, or the tricks that the question may have. And once you're able to think step by step through the entire problem, then you execute. So this makes it a lot more efficient, and it saves you a lot of time. Plus, by taking a step back and looking at the whole problem from a bird's eye view, it helps you make deeper connections between different topics, and then you just understand the topic in a more clear way. If somehow you aren't able to have this path in your head, then this leads me to my second tip. And the second tip is to do only what is worth your effort. So our energy is limited, and we can't just be using it to climb every single mountain that we see. So before you climb a mountain, look at how high it is first. If the mountain is so high that you can't even see the first step you should be taking, then don't even bother climbing the mountain. And this is the same thing for when you're approaching questions. If you see a super complicated question and you don't even know what steps to take, then don't bother trying to do it. Just look at someone else who has done it and look at how they approached it. On the other hand, if the mountain is too tiny and you can already see every single step in your head, then don't bother climbing it too. You should only aim to climb mountains that you can see around halfway up. So you should find that perfect spot in the middle. Only do questions that you can mentally walk through around halfway, because that's where you learn the most. And just remember that getting through one challenging question is worth a lot more than getting through 100 easy questions. Before I continue this video, please consider subscribing to my channel, because we're trying to reach 25 subscribers as fast as we can. My third tip is to never stop climbing. So imagine you're climbing a mountain and you suddenly stop halfway there just to hang out. Now, as soon as you get back to climbing, it is going to be super tough for you to pull yourself up, because you are already exhausted. You've lost your momentum. And the exact same thing applies to when you're having a math study session. So in your study session, if you have lots of distractions or you're taking breaks here and there, it's going to be super tough to resume doing your question, and maths is just not going to be fun for you. So whenever you're having a math study session, try to keep your distractions as minimal as possible. Try to never lose momentum, because if you lose momentum, then you're just going to be stuck there. I know that this kind of sounds like common sense, but just by having a little distraction when you're doing a math question, it can reduce your momentum a lot without you even knowing. So try to keep minimizing your distractions a bit more on top of your priority list, and math will be more fun for you. My fourth and final tip is to revisit your old questions. When you've done a question, instead of just leaving it forever, after a few hours, try revisiting them again. Honestly, you'd be surprised at how much you forget even after an hour of doing a question. So once you've done a question, just keep it somewhere safe. And after a few hours or after a day, come back to the question and try to mentally walk through the question again. Try to think of the challenges that you faced when you were doing it a few hours ago, and try to think how you overcame those challenges. By doing this, you're actually enhancing your recall and making your brain remember more. So by revisiting old questions the moment you're about to forget them, you will remember how you overcame the challenges much more. So those were the 4 tips that I wanted to share. And by following these tips, math will be more fun for you, and then eventually you will become that math genius.